Hello and welcome back to Mindful Musings, changing your thoughts, changing your life. I'm your host, Dr. Prakash, and I'm delighted to have you here with me again. In our last episode, we explored the nature of thoughts and how they shape our reality. Today, we are going to take it a step further and discuss how to challenge and change negative thoughts. So, why challenge negative thoughts? Negative thoughts can be incredibly powerful and pervasive. They can influence our emotions, our actions, and our overall outlook on life. However, it's important to remember that just because we have a thought, it doesn't mean it's true or helpful. Challenging these negative thoughts is crucial for breaking free from their grip and cultivating a more positive mindset. Negative thoughts often appear automatically and can become a habit. They create a loop where our thoughts influence our emotions and our emotions reinforce our thoughts, creating a cycle that's hard to break. For example, if you're constantly thinking, I can't do this, you're likely to feel anxious or discouraged, which then makes it even harder to take action. So, how to identify these negative thoughts? The first step in challenging negative thoughts is to identify them. This involves paying attention to the thought that arises in your mind, especially those that are recurring and make you feel bad about yourself or your situation. These might include thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, or things will never get better. Think about a time when you faced a challenge. What were the thoughts running through your mind? Were they supportive or were they critical and negative? By becoming aware of these thoughts, you can start to question and change them. As an occupational physician, I often encounter patients who are struggling with workplace stress or injury. I remember a patient who was dealing with chronic back pain. This pain was affecting not only his physical well-being but also his mental health. He kept thinking, I'll never get better and I am a burden to my colleagues. These thoughts made him feel hopeless and depressed. During our session, we worked on identifying these negative thoughts. He began to see how his thinking was contributing to his emotional distress. We then started challenging these thoughts. For instance, he had been working hard on his physical therapy and had made progress even if it was very slow. By recognizing these small wins, he could start to shift his mindset. Here is a simple process you can follow to change your negative thoughts. First, identify the thought. Write down the negative thoughts that's bothering you. It can be helpful to carry a small notebook with you or use a note-taking app on your phone or to jot down thoughts as they come up. Second, examine the evidence. Look for evidence that supports and contradicts this thought. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Often you will find that negative thoughts are based on fear or past experiences rather than objective reality. Next, consider alternative perspectives. Think about other possible explanations or viewpoints. Ask yourself, how would I view this situation if I were more compassionate towards myself? Imagine what a friend might say you in this situation. Last, reframe the thought. Replace the negative thought with a more balanced and realistic one. Instead of thinking, I'll never succeed, try, I may face challenge, but I can learn and improve. This doesn't mean being unrealistically positive, but finding a more balanced and constructive way of thinking. Let's try a practical exercise with a real-life example. Imagine you have a negative thought like, I want to finish this project but I can't. So first, write it down. Write down the negative thought, I want to finish this project but I can't. Then examine the evidence. Here we are looking for both supportive and contradictory evidences. Supporting evidence might be, you might think of times when you struggled with similar projects or felt overwhelmed by the overwork. Contradicting evidence may be, recall times when you successfully completed tasks, received positive feedback, or managed your workload effectively. Maybe there were specific steps you took that helped you succeed in the past. Next, consider alternative perspectives. Maybe you are feeling overwhelmed because you are trying to do everything at once. Breaking the project into smaller, manageable tasks could help. Perhaps you are underestimating your abilities due to your recent setback. Everyone faces challenges, and setbacks doesn't define your overall ability. Reframe the thought. Replace the negative thought with a more balanced one. I can finish this project by breaking into smaller steps and focusing on one task at a time. I have completed difficult tasks before and I can do this again. For example, let's say you have a big report to write and your thought is, I can't write this report, it's too difficult. First, write that thought down. Next, examine the evidence. Maybe you're thinking of a time when you struggled with a similar task, but also remember other times when you have successfully completed the report. Consider alternative perspectives, such as breaking the report into sections and tackling one at a time. Finally, reframe the thought. I can write this report by taking it one section at a time. I have done this before and can do it again. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Mindful Musings, changing your thoughts, changing your life. Remember, challenging negative thought is a powerful step towards creating a more positive and fulfilling life. Practice the exercise we discussed and start to notice the difference it makes. Here is a quick summary of the exercises for your reference. Write down the negative thought. Examine the evidence for and against it. Consider alternative perspectives. Reframe the thought into a more balanced one. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, please reach out to me. I love hearing from you and learning about your journey. Until next time, keep observing your thoughts and remember, you have the power to change them. Thank you.